Was good, y'all? Red Sosa back in a building with another banger, man. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. Now, as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen today, I'm going to be showing y'all how to create the best top 3 most broken center builds in NBA 2K23 on next gen. Now, these builds are going to apply both to current as well as next. But before we get any further, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Now let's go ahead and reach at least 50 likes on today's video. I know that we can do it. And be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications. Now let's go ahead and get into the making of this first build that I got lined up for y'all. Going to be called the defensive anchor, and we're going to make this build out of the center position, of course. Now for the height, I'm going to go with 7 feet exactly. The weight will be 254 with a wingspan of 710. Now going through this build, I'm going to be showing y'all gameplay as well, so do not worry about anything. But as far as for the physicals themselves, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my speed and acceleration will be maxed out. Same thing for the strength. When it comes down to the vertical, I'm going to go with the 75. And then as far as for the stamina, I would say anywhere 80 and above is going to be perfectly okay. Now, out of all 3 of these builds on this list, I feel like this is going to be the most true big man build. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just let you know right now, the takeovers that we're going to be able to get will be the rim protecting as well as the glass cleaning. Now, as far as for the total badge count, we'll be able to get 60 plus badges, and we're focusing mainly on the defense as well as the finishing out of this build. When it comes down to the defensive Hall of Fame badges, we'll be able to get 8. I'm telling y'all, the finishing is super OP. We get elite defense, and our pass accuracy is definitely going to be there. Then when it comes down to the strength with that gym rat badge, essentially, you're pretty much going to be able to get a 99 strength. Now for other 99 plus stats I want to go over on this build, this is only going to apply if you pick the correct takeover, but also if you buy boost yourself. So we'll also have the potential to get a 99 offensive rebound, defensive, interior defense, as well as the standing dunk. Now overall for this build, I feel like the badge count is there, and I'm going to go ahead and show y'all exactly what I'm going to be putting on when it comes down to the actual setup of the badges. Before the takeovers, as you can see, we get the rim protecting like I said, with the glass cleaning. Now for my best interest, I would go with 1 and 1, one being glass cleaner and the other being rim protecting. But however you want to go about it, make sure it's based to your own liking and preference when it comes down to your play style. I'm going to go with see the future as well as paint intimidation or stuff blocks. Both of these are going to be solid. Now as y'all can see together, coming up at number 1, we have made the first defensive anchor build on this list. Now if you mess with this build, go ahead and let me know in the comments what you think about it. If you're looking to make your own adjustments, or if you've seen a build similar to this but different, I want to know. Now when it comes down to the badge counts, I'm telling you, I went about the badge setup very perfect on this build. We get 4 total Hall of Fame defensive badges. Then when it comes down to the finishing, I feel like we have everything that we need, especially with being able to get Bully as our gold core badge. Now for the playmaking, we actually have the badges that are going to help us out with our pass accuracy, especially with putting on break starter on silver. I think this is going to make a huge difference with this build. Now we don't have a core badge when it comes down to the shooting, but if you want to make adjustments towards this build in order to get some shooting badges, you definitely can do that. Now my best thing about this build and what I feel like is going to be better overall is that we have 4 badges we're able to use on Hall of Fame for the defensive area, but one of them, if you add it on for a core badge, it's going to allow you to get 5 total defensive Hall of Fame badges. Now if you wanted to, like I said, you can choose any setup of badges based to your own liking and play style, but for me, I truly believe for this first build, the defensive anchor is going to be the best setup to go with. Now when it comes down to the second build that I got lined up for y'all, the glass cleaning finisher. Now I'm telling you, this is going to be a straight inside and defensive build, and you're definitely going to be able to shoot. Now for this next build, with that being said, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to execute perfectly on all 4 areas of this build. The badge count that we're going to be able to get will be 74 badges, but on top of all that, we're going to be able to get elite big man contact dunks as well as the pro driving contact dunks. Now let's go ahead and first get started with the physicals. I feel like that's going to be the most important area to start out with on any build that you start making. Now the biggest difference between build number 1 and this build being build number 2 is that this one is much more versatile all around. not only when it comes down to the offensive end, but more so when it comes down to the defense. Now, the takeovers that we're going to be able to unlock are going to be a little bit different. We're going to be able to get post scoring, sharpshooting, glass cleaning, and also the rim protecting. So this build, you can make it to be a post scoring sharpshooter, a glass cleaning sharpshooter, or if you wanted to, a sharpshooting rim protector. Now, the takeovers are going to be the biggest factor of this build. But when it comes down to the defensive area, as you can see, already have a solid defense, especially when it comes down to the rebounding, but also the block. Now, for the 99 stats that we're going to be able to work with, we'll be able and have the potential to get a 99 defensive rebound, offensive rebound, block, standing dunk, as well as our driving dunk. Now, overall for this build, where I think we're going to stand out with is going to be the shooting, because a lot of people are not going to be expecting a glass cleaning finisher build to be able to shoot. Now, when you take that into consideration with being able to get sharpshooting takeover, that's really going to change and break this build. I think you can even consider it to be a catfish type build. Now, overall, I think the best thing about it is that, honestly, not only are you going to be able to shoot, but you're going to be able to throw passes on the fast break. And honestly, since we did upgrade our pass accuracy, that's probably going to be the most essential part about this build, because you're not going to be limited when you have the ball in your hand. Now, when it comes down to the finishing, if you copy the stats exactly how I brought them to y'all, you'll be able to get the elite big man standing contact dunks, but then also the pro driving contact dunks. Now, overall for the badge count, if you add it up, we get 74. Now, that is not including with the extra badge points that we're able to unlock from the seasons, as well as from my career. So for the takeovers, like I said, we're able to get the sharpshooting, the rim protecting, glass cleaning with the post scoring. Now, offensively on this build, I think it's going to be great, because yes, we do get that post scoring takeover, which means if you do decide to go to the 1v1 court, you're going to be a super overpowered defensive build, but also an offensive if you pick your takeovers correctly. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and check out the build name to make sure that we got it correct. And as y'all can see, coming up at number 2, the second best center build to use in all of 2K23, the glass cleaning finisher. Now, we have to go ahead and check out the badge count on this build. I already got it set up, so just be sure once we go into it, copy it, and I promise y'all, this is going to be the best way that you can go about any type of badge setup when it comes down to the glass cleaning finisher. So as you can see, with the defensive area, the core badge that I went with was going to be gold rebound chaser. The rest of the way, I like the fact that we're able to get anchor, brick wall, and also able to get Hall of Fame chase down artists. Now, I like the fact that we're also able to pair it up with gold box out beast. And then on top of all that, we have 4 bronze badges that we're going to be able to use out of tier 1 as well. Now, when it comes down to the finishing, this is going to be more so around silver and bronze badges. And right here, overall, I think it's going to be great, because you're still going to be able to find a lot of success out of the finishing. Now, when it comes down to the shooting, we have a good amount of badges right here as well. But then even for the playmaking, I added on every single badge that was going to make a difference when it comes down to dribbling, but also when it comes down to throwing passes. Now, with this badge count, we have one final setup left, and if you want to correct anything or make changes to builds as well as the attributes to badges, it does not matter. Do it after we create the build name together, and then from there you're going to be set to go. Now let's go ahead and get into the third and final build on this list, the two-way inside out score center build. So again, put it under the center position. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the height, weight, and the wingspan. So we're going to get a total of 71 badges out of this build, and in order to do that, go with the height of 7 feet exactly, 245 for the weight with a 7'9" wingspan. Now for the body shape that I went on most of these builds is going to be built, but if you want to change it, you can go with defined or anything else to your own liking. Now with this build, we'll also be able to get elite big man contact dunks with a few potential 99 plus stats. So go ahead and max out that speed, max out your acceleration, go with an 80 strength, 84 vertical, and a 90 stamina. Now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of the defensive area, and I'm just going to go ahead and let you know right now, you'll be able to get a 99 defensive and offensive rebound, interior defense, as well as a block when it comes down to the defense. We'll also be able to get sharpshooting takeover, rim protecting with the glass cleaning. Now right here we get a total of 28 badges, so really take that into consideration. If you add on the extra 4 from becoming a starter in my career, you'll be able to get 32 total defensive badges. 33 if you include the season 1 badge upgrade. But now look at the playmaking. So since we went with a 70 and above pass accuracy, this lines us up to be one of the best 5v5 builds, especially even more so for 3v3 when it comes down to throwing passes, because that's a huge thing this year. A lot of bigs and even guards themselves are not upgrading their pass accuracy, and it's affecting them down the road. But when it comes down to the shooting, we're definitely going to be able to shoot with that 83 pointer. Then when it comes down to that standing dunk being up into the 90s, this is going to really change how we're going to be able to not only play as a big man, but you're going to be able to shoot just as good as a guard, finish on the inside, and then when it comes down to the playmaking, like I said, we have the pass accuracy. The defense is a huge bonus put towards this build, and if you want to, we have a few extra leftover upgrades, so you can pretty much throw this into any area of this build, upgrade the free throw, or you can go ahead and upgrade the strength, the stamina. It does not matter. As long as you copy the overall stats of the defense and the finishing, I promise you everything is going to be good from there. Now overall, I think this build hits on all 4 areas. The finishing is solid. The pass accuracy is the only thing that we needed. The shooting, I'm digging this because look, you'll be able to get fouled on playing on the inside, and you're going to be able to hit your free throws since we did raise the free throw up to an 85 plus. Now overall, I'm liking how the defense is going to be worked around, especially with that 99 interior defense. But for the badges, like I said, we have everything that we need on this build. Now once I go into the badge count and show you how I went about it, you're going to see just exactly what I'm talking about and why I think this is going to be one of the best centers going forward, especially when it comes down to the rec. Now if you're a shooter, out of all 3 of these builds, I think this is going to be the center position that you want to make. Now, if you want to be more of a finisher, go with the second build, and more for the defense, I would go with the first one. Now, for the takeovers, we get the glass cleaning, the rim protecting, also going to be able to get the sharpshooting. So we have everything that we need to be able to allow us to hit from deep, but also play elite defense. Now, you have to pick between rim protecting and see the future takeover. I'm just going to go with the glass cleaning because I feel like that's what's going to be best overall. Now let's go ahead and check out the actual build name to make sure we got it correctly. And as y'all can see, coming up at number 3, we have created the center two-way inside out scorer, and this is going to wrap it up for the 3rd best center build to use all year. Now this is really for season 1, but going forward, I guarantee you these overall are going to be some of the best center builds that you're going to see all year. Now for the badge count, this is pretty much how I went about it. Now if you see any changes that you would like to make, go ahead and do it now at this point since we created all 3 builds together. But for the finishing, I did go with the core badge of Rise Up. Now for the shooting, I went with corner specialist, and then for the playmaking, bronze quick first step, and then for my defensive core badge, I went with gold rebound chaser. Now if you made it to the end, go ahead and let me know, out of these 3 center builds, which one are you going to make, 1, 2, or 3? And I just want to say thank you so much, God, for another day and another opportunity. But man, for those of y'all who made it to the end, comment down TG for thank God, and I got y'all with the response. And with all that being said, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, and go ahead and smash that like button. Be sure to go ahead and comment down below, where did you tune in from watching today? And man, don't forget to turn on post notifications. But with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.